So there is a mental health crisis going on, and I'm not talking about Blue Monday. Incidentally, side note, Blue Monday was invented by a travel company to try and sell you a holiday. It's not science, it's just hokum. And if you hadn't sort of thought about that already, I can give you some proof, right? Which is that the very idea that there's a particular point of the year where low levels of light and cold weather make us all feel miserable only makes even the slightest bit of sense if you've entirely forgotten about the existence of a thing called the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, it's actually summer down there right now, and things are a lot better in the Southern Hemisphere, not only because the weather is a fair bit warmer and there's a fair bit more light in the daytime, but also because, you know, right now the Perth Fringe is starting, and lots of comedians and audience members and producers and front of house staff and technicians and all the rest who I know and care about are meeting up, putting shows on. Performers are being paid full fees because audiences are able to assemble without significant social distancing. Audience members are hugging one another. Parties are taking place, probably sex parties are taking place, and everybody is carefully not mentioning it to me because they know that the more they go on about these things, the more frustrating it is in every possible sense for me to be away from a festival that I really love and I really, really miss being a part of. But now we have a situation where my social media is popping up adverts sponsored by the British government saying, are you suffering from a mental health problem? You can ring an NHS helpline number and get support. Now, there's two problems there. Firstly, NHS mental health services are horrendously underfunded, and they have been since long before this pandemic. That is a problem caused by years and years and years of Conservative governments and their austerity measures and the way that they've never taken mental health issues seriously and funded them properly. And as a result, literally everyone I know who has rung one of these helplines has had the same reaction. You're basically asked whether or not you are currently actively suicidal, like genuinely planning to commit suicide, and if you are, then you can be offered a chat, a conversation, and if you're not, if your mental health problems are at any level below that, then you're put on a waiting list, and you know, in 6 months or a year, maybe, possibly, you'll hear from someone nobody really knows. There's no other like immediate thing. And the reaction to Blue Monday has been people all over social media who mean well, going, well, you know, if anyone wants a cup of tea and a chat, I'm here to help you. And that's lovely and it's well-meaning, but let's not forget that a cup of tea and a chat is not a solution to serious mental health problems. It's something that is good for our mental health and it's not even mental health, it's good for just the fact that we're human beings, and that's a thing that human beings do. We shouldn't be offering people a cup of tea and a chat because they're probably feeling terrible. We should be offering that to everybody every day because that's how human beings engage with one another, and that's what being a human being is about. But instead, I've got a situation where Boris Johnson is basically saying to me, yes, I've taken away 95% of your income. I've failed to listen to the science. I've let this pandemic run amok, leaving you worried about your health, meaning that dozens and dozens of people you know have been seriously, seriously ill, and some people have died, people that you care about. I've told you your career's not viable. I've made an absolute pig's ear of the economy so that it's unlikely to come back for a really, really long time. I've cut you off from physically being in touch with people that you love and people that you like to spend time with and people who are important to your mental health and well-being. And now I'm like, you seem down. Would you like a biscuit? It's like throwing somebody in the Pacific Ocean and then being like, oh, you're a bit wet. Do you want this tissue? It's just insultory. It is the actions of an abuser to act as though there's something wrong with me, that I now have a mental health problem because of his persistent incompetence, evil, corruption. The fact is this, Mr. Johnson, my mental health is doing pretty well, actually. It's responding entirely appropriately to the circumstances that we're in that I am very sad, I am very angry, And I very, very strongly believe that the only way my mental health can be improved is if you resign immediately from the post that you have no legitimate right to be in whatsoever at this stage. See you next week.